fudgy, chocolatey, and also laden with cookie butter and cookie butter biscuits. These vegan cookie butter brownies are going to be your new favorite sweet treat. So let's get to the recipe. As always, to make this recipe super smooth and come together in no time, you want to get your mise en place set up. Mise en place is putting all of your ingredients in bowls, so when you make your recipe, all you need to do is combine the ingredients. No sifting through drawers or pantry cabinets. Start by adding your dry ingredients to a medium bowl. Glass or stainless steel works best, and we will be adding 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. You can opt for spelt flour or whole wheat flour to make these healthier. Next, a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. You can choose to add more if you'd like, but this is the perfect amount because these brownies will also include melted vegan chocolate in the dough of the brownie. For a cakier brownie, which is something I prefer, I added a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. You can choose to do a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder for a fudgier brownie, and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt for taste. To substitute the egg in our brownie, we will use my favorite egg substitute that's vegan and also no waste, an old banana. Mash up 1 old banana with a fork and also combine a teaspoon's worth of vanilla paste or vanilla extract. I like doing this in a small mixing bowl because you keep wet ingredient with wet ingredient. For another ingredient that we're going to add, you want to include a 1/2 cup of maple syrup for extra sweetness and adding liquid to the mixture, and a 1/4 cup of plant milk of choice. You can use oat, soy, whatever you prefer and whatever works for your dietary needs. Our sweetener of choice today will be a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can also use a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar or regular granulated sugar. To make these brownies very rich and ultra decadent, we will be adding a 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil and a 1/2 cup of melted vegan chocolate chips. In your bowl, you want to combine these together because eventually you will microwave them in 30-second intervals to melt them together to make your life super easy. For our add-ins and toppings for these brownies, I like to add 1/2 cup of vegan chocolate chips to the brownie dough itself because it adds little pockets of extra chocolate and gooey ooiness that make these brownies go above and beyond. You can omit them for a less chocolatey brownie. For our topping, we will be melting a 1/3 cup of cookie butter in the microwave and drizzling it on top, and crumble about 6 to 8 Biscoff biscuits with your hands because we will top our brownies with these biscuits. To assemble these brownies and then get to the baking step, we want to first melt the 1/2 cup of vegan chocolate chips in the microwave with the coconut oil. In the bowl, since they're already together, put them in the microwave and microwave the ingredients for 30 seconds at a time. It'll take approximately 3 intervals to melt these ingredients fully. In between each 30-second interval, agitate with a spoon or a spatula so that your chocolate and coconut oil melt together. Once they're fully melted, it'll be a really nice, smooth, liquidy mixture. To assemble your brownie dough, you will take your egg replacement, that is your 1 banana and your vanilla paste, and put it into a large mixing bowl. In this large mixing bowl, we will be assembling all of our ingredients. Mix in your brown sugar, milk, and your maple syrup, and vigorously whisk so that your sugar completely dissolves in the egg. Once everything is vigorously combined, we will add our melted chocolate to the mix. Make sure to whisk this until all ingredients are homogeneous. This is a very important tip. To make sure that these brownies come out to perfection, I highly recommend that your ingredients are as room temperature as possible. When you melt coconut oil and when you melt chocolate and you mix cold milk, it sometimes ruins the mixture in a very annoying way. Once all of your wet ingredients are really nicely combined and there are no lumps, no problems with the mixture and the temperature of the ingredients, the next step is to very simply add the dry ingredients. That is your flour, your salt, your baking soda, and your cocoa powder. Dump these all into the wet mixture and combine with a spatula or a whisk, whatever you prefer. In an 8x8 brownie pan, I have a silicone brownie pan that I will leave linked in the description below. Add all of your brownie mixture to that pan. I like to bake it on a baking tray to ensure that it stays in the right position and in the right shape the entire baking time, and it makes taking the brownies out of the oven super duper easy. Top with your cracked and crumbled cookie butter biscuits. Drizzle your melted cookie butter on top that you've melted for about 30 seconds. This should not take very long at all. Make sure to make it as neat as you want or as messy as you'd like. If you want to get very creative, you can use a toothpick to swirl some lines into your brownie. In a preheated oven that's been warmed up to 350 Fahrenheit, I think it's 180 Celsius, you want to add your brownies to your oven, place them in the middle rack, and bake them for 25 minutes. My oven tends to run hot, so 25 is enough. If you need them to bake ever so slightly, do 25 between 27 minutes. Once your brownies are done baking, remove them from the oven and let them cool completely in the pan. At least 15 minutes. If you have a silicone pan, they can remain in there for about 30 minutes without getting soggy. And if you have baking paper, if you're using regular parchment from a, let's say, stainless steel baking pan, wait those 15 minutes, those 30 minutes, and then release from the baby using the parchment paper. When I bake my brownies in a silicone mold, I actually leave them in there and cut them inside of the mold. Instead of using a knife, because that would tear the mold, I actually use a bread scraper because it's plastic, it can maybe be stainless steel, and it's not going to puncture your mold. Then set them on a wire rack so they completely cool. I'm really glad I made these brownies because they made me scratch an itch of creativity that I have had since I saw the initial recipe posted on Instagram. I definitely enjoyed these. They're very chocolatey. I definitely think they could use more Biscoff though. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to make a Biscoff blondie, which would be something interesting and new to try. So let's go to the review of this recipe. Today we are trying my cookie butter Biscoff brownies. They're fabulous. Should we take an edge piece or a middle piece?
I mean, the middle piece looks the best, but...
Middle piece it is. Wow, they're so chewy.
That's a good brownie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Good brownie texture. Good chocolate brownie flavor. Good Biscoff on top.
Yeah, I think it needs more Biscoff, but I think it's a really good balance. It's very chocolatey because there's melted vegan chocolate in the brownie dough, so it's super fudgy, in addition to chocolate chips inside of the dough. If you want a less chocolatey brownie, omit the chocolate chips from the dough, but I like the Biscoff a lot. What do you like better, this or the Levain chocolate chip cookies?
Probably this.
You heard it here, folks. The brownies are really good. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. Let me know in the comments below what you think after making them. In addition, let me know a different variation that you might be curious about trying. This has been Rebecca Martinez. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for free recipes as it should be, and see you next time.